Atheists get paid by secret authorities to discredit religions. It's disgusting. This is a shame on yourselves. Most atheists are rich. Are you telling me that this whole time I could have been getting paid and be rich making these videos? What am I even doing here? Why am I even on YouTube getting paid pittance by YouTube to make these videos when I could be rich by secret authorities? I'm in the wrong business. Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. My camera has just decided to get darker for no reason. Today we're going to be taking a look at r/religiousfruitcake. I've had a video on this before and you know what? It did well and I had a good time making these videos. Religion is a subject that I like to consider myself fairly educated in. I went to church and Sunday school every Sunday for like 18 years of my life. I went to seminary every morning and studied the Bible for like 6 years of my life, so I'm fairly well versed in religion, especially, you know, like Christianity. So we're taking another look at the subreddit today because if there's one thing I cannot abide, it is religious hypocrisy, and today we're going to just have a look at a lot of that. So let's get into it, shall we? When you ridicule, mock, or belittle the church, just remember, you're not doing it to an organization, club, or an idea. You're doing it to the bride of the King of all kings and Lord of all lords, and he tends to take that very seriously. Shane, buddy, first of all, that's a scary threat and all, but if they don't believe in your religion, it's a meaningless threat. Like, it's the equivalent of telling a teenager who knows that Santa isn't real, that if he doesn't behave, Santa is gonna put a piece of coal under the Christmas tree on Christmas. Like, if they don't believe in your God, it's an empty threat to them. It means nothing. So just putting that out there. Second of all, threats aren't very Christian of you, buddy. And if there's one thing that God takes very seriously, it's people using his name in vain to make threats, because that's what that means. That's what don't take the Lord's name in vain means. It means using his name for justifying mistreatment and doing things that he doesn't want you to do. So the context of this one before we continue is that OP said that the person that tweeted this is a Mormon, and they're saying that my ancestors settled Utah and I'm going to take it back from the people who don't belong here and are trying to ruin it. And someone replied with, cool, which indigenous tribe are you from? And he said, lol, shut up, nerd. So like, you're the people that don't belong there in that case, right? Your ancestors might have landed there, but they weren't there originally. There were other people there first. You're the people that landed there. You're the people that took it from the people that it belonged to. I don't know how they don't quite grasp that, but taking Utah back for the Mormons, like, no, you're stealing it from the people it belonged to. You're not taking it back. Noah harvesting the floating bodies of all the dead sinners to feed the ark animals. There's multiple flaws with this. First of all, the only animals they've shown on this boat are elephants and giraffes, and those are herbivores. What are the herbivores gonna eat? They can't eat bodies. They can't eat meat. They're herbivores. So that doesn't work out. Also, these bodies gonna rot really quickly. Like, those bodies are not gonna last more than a couple of days, and before you really can't be feeding those to things. Like, they're not refrigerated. They're in the ocean in hot climates. Nick Fuentes doubles down on child marriage. Christians like me have no use for things like age of consent. I don't think I even need to say anything about this one. This speaks for itself. Christians are groomers. Not all. Okay, granted, not all Christians are like this, but like the really loud, outspoken Christians, those are the groomers. You know, the ones that are constantly accusing like queer and trans people of grooming children? They're grooming children, not queer and trans people. I mean, let's not forget all of the clergy, like the amount of clergy accusations floating around. And then you just have people like this in an interview in front of millions of people saying, yeah, I don't think there should be an age of consent for people, for good Christians like me. Like, you're a pedophile, sir. Nick Fuentes, pedophile. Outright, admitted, outspoken pedophile. And you know who doesn't speak against people like him? Right-wing Christians. And that's a problem. That's a very real problem. There are 4,200 religions in the world, but only one empty tomb. Right. So first of all, we don't actually know where Jesus' tomb was if it was real. And second of all, I just really need to point out, okay, how bad of evidence an empty tomb is. If a tomb is empty, you can't prove that anyone was ever in it. So like if you found Jesus' tomb and you were like, it must be real, the tomb is empty. If there was even a body in there, one, it's not in there now, so you can't prove that. And two, it could have been removed by people. Like an empty tomb is really terrible evidence. Like there is so much other like biblical evidence that if it existed and you could find the evidence, it would prove it. And an empty tomb ain't it. Like seriously, that's terrible, terrible evidence. Terrible evidence. All women are designed by God to have their first kid at 16, when their hormones are high and bones are most elastic for less painful birth. All women would be happier if they got married at 16. This gives them a lot more years with their kids and keeps them from aging rapidly. In a Catholic theocracy, depression would not exist. So like he hasn't stated a single correct thing here, like straight up. So we'll break it down. First of all, girls should not be having children at 16. That is incredibly bad for them. The mortality rates of the babies is higher. The mortality rates of the mother is higher. They're not prepared to actually care for a child. They haven't even finished school yet. I feel like I don't need to talk about any more issues with that, really. Those three should really say everything. But on top of that, we shouldn't be marrying girls off at 16. That's grooming. Once again, this is religious grooming. That's a common trend, it seems. And it doesn't keep them from aging. In fact, most women, when they are stressed with childcare, will show more signs of aging due to stress. That's a common thing. That's not anybody's fault. It's just very stressful to look after children, especially multiple children, which is what Christians love. It's not going to stop them aging, and they're not going to be happier for it. They're going to probably be worse off because they're going to be sad about the fact that they've ruined a lot of their most youthful years by being nailed down with a husband and a child. They're not going to get to go to university, they're not going to get to have a good job, and they're not going to do the things that they want to do with their lives. We shouldn't be encouraging people to get married and have children at 16. That's not and like in a Catholic theocracy, depression would not exist. No, it would exist. They would just like ignore you like they always have. Like they would tell you to pray the depression away like they always have. It solves nothing. If anything, there'd be more depression because women would be forced against their will to marry and have children when they don't want them. A Catholic theocracy would benefit no one apart from Catholic men who want to groom 16-year-olds. But Beverly, she died.
My sister-in-law died in a fire. Her Bible was beside her bed on the stand. Not a burn mark on the Bible. Awesome. Miracle from God.
Ah, what a just and merciful God. Look at this woman, a worshipper of me, so devout that she even keeps her Bible on her bedstand. Let me just burn her to death, but not touch the Bible. What a miracle, right? Your sister died, Beverly, and if you believe in God, he took her from you and instead chose to leave a Bible scorchless in the wake of an actual human life. What a great God. Wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth grow in sideways and straighten out over time. The pain is deliberate to rewire your brain and open new pathways. Your God truly was an intelligent creator. The adrenaline from the pain was a hidden gift. These 4 wisdom teeth are also wired directly to your heart and pineal gland. They are called wisdom teeth for a reason, and this is why they are eager to pull them, to rob you of your power and true potential. Homie, what? Okay, so they're called wisdom teeth because they come in between age like 16 to 24, which is when they believed that people gained wisdom. That's the whole reason they're called that. Second of all, they don't unlock something in your brain. Also, if you truly believe that the adrenaline and pain of wisdom teeth coming in is what unlocks something in your brain, then surely the pain of having your wisdom teeth removed is just as good. Also, what about people like me whose wisdom teeth came in sideways and never straightened up? My bottom jaw, my wisdom teeth are sideways. They are still sideways. They never came through properly and they just cause issues. They occasionally flare up, the gums get inflamed because my teeth are just sitting there sideways half through, and they've been like that for years. I'm pretty sure God didn't intend this. And I'm also pretty sure that this hasn't made me more wise. This is the weirdest, stupidest thing I've ever heard. Do they think about things before they make this up? Like, this was some dude that just made this up and was like, yeah, God intended this for a reason to make me more wise. I would know. I'm Christian. I can make up pseudoscience. I can make up pseudoscience too, right? Here's a really interesting fact about men. I don't know if you knew this, but wisdom's actually stored in the beard. So if you shave off your beard, then you lose your wisdom. It's also where memories are stored. So like if you can't grow a beard, you're just not as wise. That's a true fact, and God intended it that way. Right, this is some real fruitcakery. Just be prepared. I believe the context of this is that this is one of those really culty religious groups that believes that a kid is the actual Messiah. Let's just take a look. Tell me this isn't a cult. Tell me this isn't a cult. You can't. This is a cult. That's what this is. Any group like this, the groups where you have these spiritual healers out on stage curing people, the ones where they brought people back from the dead, they're all basically cultists making money and profit off of people who don't know any better. That's all these kinds of things are. Like that woman, I don't know if any of you ever saw the woman, I'll try and find it, that would like die. She'd lie on the floor and she's dead. And only when people had put enough money on her body would she be resurrected. How stupid and impressionable, and how incredibly vile of someone to actually profit off of those impressionable people. Like, it's disgusting.
When I get to heaven, I hope God allows me to peer down into the depths of hell and watch all the atheists burn.
Ah, that's real Christian love of you, huh? Nothing says hate like Christian love. I really hope this person knows that if God exists, and if hell exists, and if God does send people to hell, she is sure not making it into heaven. And if people like this are making it into heaven, I don't want to be there. If there are people reveling in the suffering of people purely because they have different beliefs, if you are reveling in the suffering of people just because they're atheist, you're condemning them to hell and telling them that you want to watch them burn, you're not a Christian. You were never a Christian. So, right, this next video, the context of this video is he tells these girls that there are men coming, basically. That's all I'm gonna say. So the purpose of this video was to show the internet, look how well behaved my daughters are. They cover their faces as soon as they think men are coming. Now, first and foremost, does it not completely defeat the purpose of having your daughters cover their faces around men when you upload their faces to the internet? It's almost as if this was never actually about the daughters being modest and hiding their faces from other men, and instead it was about controlling women in this culture. Just a bit of food for thought there. But like, this is a whole culture, this whole thing about girls being forced to cover their faces and to completely cover up around men. It's a whole culture about blaming women for men doing things to them. So if a man assaults a woman, it's the woman's fault. She wasn't covered up enough. And that's the whole premise of it. It's blaming women for men's actions. And that's pretty fucking gross if you ask me. And training children from this young to completely cover up around men in case those men do something to them, and acting as if it's the girl's duty to do this so that men don't do something to them, instead of blaming the men and doing something about that. That's fact. That's actually fact. And the final post.
This young man was praying before his meal when a group of liberal atheists mocked him, chanting, "Prove your God is real." It was then his salt shaker fell and the image of Christ the Savior appeared. The group of non-believers fell to their knees and prayed for forgiveness. We serve an awesome God. Amen.
First of all, cropping is hard, am I right? But second of all, this didn't happen, and anybody that believes this happened is fucking insane. Third of all, This is an artist that did this. I can't remember what his name is, like Nick Ferrell, I think, something like that. I'll put his name up on screen. He makes art out of salt and other things. I think he makes art out of food in general, but like he made this, and attributing someone's actual hard work, someone's actual talent and hard work at creating art, attributing that to your god who had nothing to do with it, is insulting to him as an artist. He might be a part of your religion. In fact, if he's made a highly detailed image of Jesus, he probably is religious, but it's still insulting to him to tell him and to spread his image and claim that it was a gift from God and that he had nothing to do with it. That's insulting, genuinely insulting. I will have the artist's name on screen as actual credit for his artwork here. But yeah, honestly, I can't believe that anyone would actually believe a post like this. And once again, it's like baffling because someone, a religious person, had to create the text on this. They had to create this story and lie and spread it knowing that it's a lie. You're trying to spread your religion by lying. If you can't spread your religion without lying, what is your religion? If it's built upon lies, why are you believing in it? If you know that you need to lie to spread it, why do you believe in it? And I'm gonna end the video on that note. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below. Or equally, you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. Special thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons that do support the channel. All of you are genuinely incredible, wonderful, amazing people, and it helps so much more than you might realize. So thank you so much. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.